The hip. Oh.
1:30, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Yep. We're reading the Hippo book.
Ooh, she likes that one. That's a good one. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My clock has hit 9 o'clock, and we are going to get started on today's cross-country running section managers meeting. Appreciate everybody taking some time to join us on this fine Thursday morning. League staff has been extremely busy racing around the state of Minnesota with our area meetings. We were up north last week, been down south this week. We're throwing in some student regional meetings in there as well, all the while planning for our tournament seasons coming up. I see a number of region secretaries on the call, also a number of meet managers. And again, we thank you for the work that you do to determine who the qualifiers are in your part of the state. Susie, we can go to the next slide. And just go through the agenda. Susie did hit the record button on this. We will share this back out as a resource. So region secretaries, if your section manager or section managers are unable to join the call, we'll be able to share this with them. We're going to review some documents and resources that will assist section managers in administering their section meet. Laura's with us. She's going to talk a little bit about some website resources, and communication around your section events. Josh Gerber is with us as well, and Josh does manage the entry process, or maybe better said, he manages the timing for the state meet, and that starts with a clean entry process at the section level. So we'll just review that, a few meet management keys, and then state qualifier info. We'll give you some information that you can share with those qualifiers as well. Documents and resources available to you in your dashboards, guidelines for section meet managers. We are just taking snippets out of that larger document for this meeting today. I think you'll find that it's just a pretty robust checklist. So if you're thinking, what is it that I didn't do or forgot to do, or want to double check and make sure you've got all of your I's dotted and T's crossed, that's going to be a really good resource for you. As always, in any of our sports and activities, I'm always reminded of Associate Director Madison's words that the rules and policies documents are best kept secret. And this is a document is available to all of our head cross-country coaches, all of our cross-country coaches for that matter, and available to you as well as region secretaries and section meet managers. But the cross-country running rules and policies. And this document outlines the things that we allow and the expectations that we have around regular season and postseason cross-country running. The Minnesota uniform rule modifications specific to cross-country. That document is available to you, as well as a uniform verification form. The emergency medical procedures and transfer of care forms also available to you in your dashboard. Also a reminder to develop and share site-specific emergency action plans. For many of you, your section event is at the same place year after year after year, and that has been developed and it's communicated easily. There are some sections, however, that routinely rotate sites. So be sure to work with your host to determine the best course of action in an emergency response. Things like addresses, access points for emergency medical personnel, AED location if you do not have a portable, those sorts of things. And in absence of an AED, make sure that you can connect with one of the attending schools and that they would have one on site. And then finally, the NFHS track and field and cross country running rule book. That will be a great resource to assist as well in the planning and administration of that meet. I would just pause right here and maybe open the floor up to any questions, or invite folks to enter any questions or comments in the chat before we move on and turn the floor over to Laura. All right, hearing none, Laura, I'm going to toss the baton to you and let you talk a little bit about website and communication.
Your toss the baton sounds a little bit more like a track meet than a cross-country meeting, Charlie. Good morning, everyone, and just a few notes on some website communication pieces. Josh and Charlie will share with you a lot of information about where to get results directly to them for the competition. However, there are a number of other places that we ask you to share information out. People, fans, spectators, etc., are very interested in our league events and in your section events. And our goal is to help people find the information that they want to either attend your event and or follow along from afar with results. Each of you should have a login to the State High School League website that takes you to a tournament personnel dashboard. If you do not have that at this point, please work with your region secretary, and he or she will work with us to get you connected to the right spots. That dashboard has a lot of information on it that helps you run your tournament effectively. Susie, Charlie, and others may email events and things out to you, but they work really hard to put those resources also on your dashboard so that they are all in one place for you to find. On your dashboard, you'll find a button that says Website Help Guide. Behind that button are a number of 1 to 2 page documents with directions for different things that we ask you to do. So you'll see all of those arrows pointing across on this page. That's really what that is showing. You're going to look for that Website Help Guide button. Behind that Website Help Guide button, there are 3 documents to find to help you get information out for the public. Numbers 1 and 2 that are listed there are entering the dates and venues for your section tournament. That information shows up in a lot of places across the website. It shows up on the cross-country pages when you click on section events. It shows up on every coach and AD's dashboard when they look for section dates and venues for tournaments. So it's very important that you have that information in there and accurate, as it feeds to a number of places across the website. Tournament managers, your region secretary may have already done this. They have access to this last spring and often take advantage of that to get all of their events in. But if you would double check that, make sure that it's accurate, and then work with that region secretary to make sure that that's correct. The second, number 2 there, we ask you to upload 2 different documents at 2 different times for your tournament. And this is really information that's for the public, not for your teams, not for your AD. And it's very simple information. The first one is simply a schedule of your event. And it may simply give the times of the races. It might have information about where people park. Likely it's a 1-page PDF that just gives some general information that a fan or a spectator would want. And again, the directions for there are under that section event information. And then following the meet, we would ask that you upload a PDF of your results. You're also sharing this information with Charlie, Josh, and others, but that PDF is there, what we would call for eternity, It'll live on our archives page with that section event information. And it's also where our public is going to find that information about your meet. So as your meet is over, please first of all, get information to Josh, Charlie, and others. That's critical. But as you're done with that, then take that PDF and upload that following those directions on that section tournament resources. And then finally, you have a spot where you can post information just for coaches and ADs. This goes to their dashboard and keeps all of that information for them in one place. Again, these are the things that 5 years ago, you probably sent emails to those folks. 10 or 15 years ago, you probably put things in the US mail to send to them. And we know in today's world, it's just hard to keep track of all of those documents you get from people. So adding those as those section event resources puts those on the coach and the AD's dashboard so that everything is there for them in one place. Again, directions for each of these are under that website help guide button on your dashboard. And if you're back at the spot where you say, I need a dashboard, please work with your region secretary and he or she will get you pointed in the right direction on all of this. Charlie, I'll put it back to you. And if people have questions, please drop them in the chat and I'm happy to answer those.
Great. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate all of your work and continuing to help the website be a place that many different people can go to assist with our tournaments and activities. Josh Gerber has joined us on the call. I'm going to take us through the next couple of slides, but may open it up to Josh if I am not clear about some information or if he has anything to add. But just a reminder in the section entry process that the maximum roster number is 9, 7 of which can run. Those entries will be submitted by coaches through the athletic.net website. It is my understanding that Josh has created all of the section meets at this time and invites have been sent out. Many teams, because they have been using or have used athletic.net at meets already this year, have done so. But an invite will have gone out to all of our cross-country teams. The entries will be exported by Wayzata Results and sent to the meet manager in the file format that is requested by your timer. And I do believe that that meet managers have submitted all of their timer information as was requested. So that process should go quite smooth. Wayzata Results will send multiple email updates to teams and especially to those that have not submitted section entries. Paul asked the question, the uniform verification form will go up here. If it's not up today, we've got a couple of more documents that are going to go up and you should see them by the end of the day, Paul. Thanks for the question. Excuse me, Susie, we can go to the next slide. One example or test format will be allowed prior to the deadline. And again, this is just to make sure that the transfer of data is in the right format and that things will go smoothly. We'd like to limit that to just one. It creates a lot of extra work. If there are errors to the name or grade of the students or participants at the section meet, please have the coaches go in and edit that directly on athletic.net. That is going to be the cleanest way to make sure that information is changed in real time and in all of the places that data is going to show up between that section meet and the state meet. And then one note to timers and meet managers, please do not change the team names that are provided. A lot of times we'll have a coach, and this happens especially when there are co-op teams. Well, this is what we want to be known as. While that may be true for the coach in the exchange of data between our website and Wayzata Results and then back to the timers, we need that data to remain the same. or it creates a lot of headache and a lot of work on our end to clean that up and to get things to match the way that they're supposed to match. We will be sending an email. I think our target is this afternoon to all of the timers, all of your timers. So we will share this information with you. We will also CC the meet managers as well, so that you are aware of the communication that is sent out. And again, just requesting no changes here, just to ensure that that data transfer happens accurately and seamlessly, and eliminates errors for all involved. Josh, as I've worked through 2 slides, is there anything that you need to add or want to add to this part of the conversation? Josh, did you shake your head? I can't see you. We're good? All right, we're good. We move to the next slide, Susie. Thank you. Just a few keys to the meet management. Again, you have a much more robust document in your dashboard, so please refer to that. These are just a kind of a few key pieces. Number one, as a meet manager, if there are any issues or concerns, please work first and foremost with your region secretary. Again, just the reminder is, it's not that I don't want to be involved and don't want to assist you. It's just that these meets are managed locally at the region level, with a great deal of autonomy, and it's most important that your region secretary and perhaps your region committee, if necessary, are involved. If your region secretary has any questions or issues, he or she can contact me, and we can work to resolve any of those issues. Just a note as well, I would strongly consider the use of eligible officials. Now, High School League bylaw does not require the use of eligible officials for the sport of cross country. However, for a section event, we would strongly encourage you to use eligible track and field officials. They share the same rule book and would share the same certification process and eligibility process if that was required here at the league level. Last year, we did have at least one section that did have to disqualify a student athlete that would have placed and been a qualifier for the state meet. And when we have eligible officials, making those decisions and working with the games committee, it only enhances the credibility of that meet. If you have questions on that or would like to be connected to potential eligible officials for your section meet, please reach out to myself, and we will work to make that happen. Again, some rule modifications outside of the NFHS rule book is the uniform rule. We have tightened that rule down a bit further. There are some language here on this slide. Foundation garments worn by 2 or more members. This might be long compression shorts or long pants. They must match. Again, the foundation garments could be different. So you could have somebody that has knee-length compression shorts and somebody with long pants. But if it's black, all team members must match. They all must be black. Not everybody has to wear the foundation garments, but again, if more than one, if 2 or more are wearing a foundation garment, those colors must be the same. A reminder that face, body paint, and stickers are not allowed. We've had questions on things like glitter, ribbons in the hair for girls. We especially see that. That's a trend that's been made popular. Keep in mind the spirit and intention of the rule. We do not want students smearing eye black and rubbing that down their face. We don't want messages and writing all over the body. We understand that some students, it's much more popular now to have tattoos. We don't govern those or ask those to be removed. But just keep in mind the spirit and intent of the rule is to make sure that athletes are presenting themselves with their team uniform and no other adornments. Baseball hats, scarves, bandanas are not allowed. And in keeping with the not like protrusion language of the uniform, headbands can be worn, or hair control devices. We ask that they do not have knots, and that is consistent with other uniform language in the NFHS rules. Advancing to the state meet, we will advance the first and second place teams, in your section meet, plus the top 6 individuals who are not members on those advancing teams. The ties can be resolved by comparing the 6th place finisher and or totaling the scores of the first 4 finishers if both teams only have 5. And I would open this up to any questions now before we move on. All right, Susie, we'll go on to slide number 8. Josh just put a comment in the chat, sending results directly to him. He will work with your timers, so please have your timers send them directly to Josh. And as Laura mentioned, either you as a section manager or region secretaries publish a PDF to the league website. Again, a lot of our public will go to the cross-country results page, and having that information up and readily available assists everybody in accessing the information that they need and want to see. Quick note about media. Streaming is not something we see a lot of in cross country, just due to the nature of the sport and the way it extends out over quite a vast terrain. However, we are seeing and getting different kinds of requests for a lot of different events based on the changing technology. So just a reminder, if you have a request of somebody to come in and stream your event, if you are a meet manager, section meet manager, just please work with your region secretary. The approvals typically happen at the region committee level or by the region secretary acting on behalf of the region committee. We just want to make sure we know which media is there, that they have been approved to be in attendance, and if they're capturing and or broadcasting video, that they have the authority to do so. And a quick note about weather. This time of year, we can see all kinds of weather. We might see temperatures in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We could also see temperatures at or around the freezing level. And so you see a grand scope of our weather advisory here. And as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing an omission is we are now also worried about air quality in these days. The last couple of years with the Canadian wildfires and wherever the jet stream may be, that could impact air quality. So that's just one more piece to be looking at, and making sure that obviously cross-country running, we're outside in a very much an aerobic activity, but maybe we need to be thinking about adjusting time schedules, moving meets forward or backwards. Again, it's just another weather event, and something to be considered. And if you have questions, you could work with us, and we can help you. And want to let you know that in the event of cold weather, you have the authority, the Games Committee has the authority to modify the uniform rule, which would allow participants to wear stocking caps, for example. And we would just ask that those stocking caps, in essence, be school approved. And that is that the school would essentially be okay and think that the whatever garment is being worn is appropriate. And a reminder that Sunday the 29th and Monday the 30th are not options to finish. Once your section meet is done, we need the rest of the section meets to conclude, and then our office gets really busy in preparation for that state meet, and we need those days and the time afforded us over those days to prepare for that state meet. And so must be done by the 28th, and wish you well in that endeavor. And then finally, it's pretty well known. We can go to slide 9 here, Suze. Pretty well known that the state meet this year is changing locations. We will be moving from St. Olaf. Just as a note to this group, no hard feelings there. The break from St. Olaf was requested by St. Olaf. Hosting events of this size are really challenging. Moving to 3 classes and adding two additional races made for a longer day and pushed a lot more people through the small footprint on that campus. And St. Olaf simply asked for a pause to take a breath. And we've been so fortunate to work with Sarah Hopkins and the cross country staff at the University of Minnesota, as well as the golf course management at Les Bolstad. We are super excited for what we believe is going to be a fun state championship event, 6 great races at Les Bolstad. And that site affords us to be in line going back, I want to say, to a 2018 or 29 recommendation from the League Board of Directors to capture ticket revenue at tournaments when and where it's possible. Because of the nature of that site, that it is gated, we will be ticketing the state cross country meet for the first time in league history. That information has been shared with schools and cross country coaches. It is supported by the cross country advisory, but any assistance that you can provide in communicating that information out to the publics that are participating in your section event, that is certainly appreciated by us on our end. We'll stay on for a minute here just to answer any additional questions. My contact information is in these slides. And as always, my role is to support and assist you in the administration of your section meet and determining the qualifiers to the state tournament. So with that, I would just open it to any comments, questions. I can now see Josh and John Pursoon. Anything that I maybe have missed, otherwise would open it for questions. Well, with that, I will say thank you to all of you for your attendance. We're 5 weeks away from section meet week, and it's going to come very quickly. And I want to wish you all the best in your preparation and the administration of that meet. Thanks so much, everybody.